Yeah, my role, it's a very touching role, and I'm happy to play this role because it's important. It's a very hard role to play also, but yeah, it was good that I have the chance to play this role. Very nice. Also with FRIEN TROCH, she's a big artist and director, so it's very nice for me. My first long movie, I learned a lot of things there, and it was a nice experience, and I want to go further acting, so it's cool. I immediately had a connection with the woman who played my mother in the movie, so I think this was very unique and also very important for the scenes, and it had, yeah, how you say it, it was good, you know. You have to have a connection because it's not easy to play. You cannot play this directly with somebody. You have to know each other and trust each other, so it's cool, yeah. And it was not so hard because we trusted each other, and it was nice to play, but also it was sometimes hard, you know. Sometimes it felt like real. I was in the scene, you know. I had to come to Brett. So cool. Yeah, nice to have this role for me.
Juist hetzelfde als in school. Allee, zeg jij het nu nog eens. Om zeker te zijn dat je het begrepen hebt.
Deze u kent.
Maar toon het. Dan weet ik zeker dat je het begrijpt.
Deze is mijn kant. Deze
welke kant? Nee, sta recht en toon het.
Gewoon die...
Allee, John, kom aan, dat is toch niet zo moeilijk?
Gewoon deze lijn hier, midden, zeker.
Tot? En je krijgt dat stukje ook nog van de zetel, voilà.
Merci.
En als je hier wilt komen, over de lijn, wat moet je dan doen? Wat doe je dan? Je mag heen, maar je moet iets doen.
Ik zal het vragen aan u.
Stop met krabben. Ik heb het al gezegd. Laat ons samen tv kijken.
I think the basis was the world of the teenagers, something that I was very interested in, especially the energy that the kids have without doing specific things, but in their will to just have fun, to do nothing, to be against things. So that was something that I really had in mind. In combination with the documentary I saw, an American documentary about juveniles, so children who were in prison for various reasons. Those were two elements that I wanted to work with. And then I wrote the script together with my partner, my boyfriend. So he interviewed me and he put all these ideas, even scenes, even just loose thoughts. He put them in a scheme, and then we just started puzzling, and then it became the script and the whole story.
Ken je twee van die mensen? Dat voor het eerst mis een kerstboom nemen. Maar echt 6 maanden later staat hier een beeld aan.
Kijk dan.
Voor mij is altijd zo.
Blijf je ook mee?
Mij ook.
Genoeg, hè? Dat kan, hè?
Ja, ik kan wel eens vragen.
Ja, check even zo dat je mocht.
Indruk.
Die gaat waarschijnlijk toch niet mogen van zijn moeder. Dus.
Gelijk altijd. Hij ligt onder de sloefbed.
Ik heb gebraden kip gekocht. Is dat goed? Is het niet goed?
Nou, wel, nou.
I think most important for me in the film is that it's not about who's wrong and who is right. So the danger would be that, I mean, for me the worst thing would be that you might think, yeah, they're the adults who are bad in raising the children, and the children pour them. They're raised badly, and that's why they become badly. For me, very important is to say it comes from two sides. And of course, in my film, the adults do many things very wrongly, but still, they only do what they're capable of doing, apart from, of course, John's mother. But I mean, in general, they do the things that they think is the best to do to raise children. And it breaks it. I mean, it's not constructive, of course. But at the other hand, for example, in the scene, there's this scene in a bus where the children bully an obese woman, and it just happens. And no, that is not a fault of any adult. That's just them being shitty children at that point. So for me, it's very important to say, of course, it's the responsibility of adults is enormous when it comes to raising children or teenagers. But it's also, it comes from two sides, and you have to understand how complicated it is to try to raise or to understand each other. So I think for me the main problem would be exactly that they think they really have to teach something to children, where it's more about communicating and being honest about things, daring to say this is too hard to me, I don't know either how to raise you, or I don't know what to say, or emotionally I feel this and that. And I think the message is especially like, you should not just say to a child, do this and that, and then things will be okay. You don't know that. It depends on the situation or something. It's all around Brussels, so some scenes were filmed in Brussels, but the main idea was to have this suburbia around a city. Yeah. But it's also important that you don't know exactly, that it doesn't make you feel like you know where it is or something, like a small town. No, it's undefined area, I think.
Go. And in the setting sun we flew away to a broken kind of paradise,
golden juice,
where time would stand still. You are the black sky, always running from the sun. You're always running from the sun.
Het is wel warm eigenlijk.
Doe die t-shirt aan uit.
Ik zou dat doen.
Ja, sowieso dat je dat niet durft.
Nee, echt
Het
sowieso.
is een dikke vetzak, jongen, echt waar.
Well, excuse me there.
Oké, ik zal dat doen, maar wat krijg ik ervoor?
Maar zet jij serieus, ga je dat nu echt doen?
Ja, veel.
Hij is een dikke pak en maakt zijn eigen piet maar of zijn.
Ik geef 50 euro als jullie allebei jullie t-shirt uitdoen.
Weet je,
Dat
50
is een
euro.
keigoed aanbod.
Wat?
50 euro voor allebei de t-shirt.
Maar nee, what the fuck, nee. Slittenbak.
Well, I must admit I was a bit nervous in the beginning because, yeah, they're non-experienced, so they're not professional. The scenes are very tough, some explicit scenes, and yes, I was nervous about it, but I think the most important thing was that I was very honest towards them and that we started trusting each other very much. Long before we started shooting, we talked, we saw each other a lot, we rehearsed. So there was a big bonding and there was trust between us. And then honestly, once they started acting and doing their things, they were so professional and so good that I was like, okay. So yeah, I think the advantage is also that there's a lot of things in the film of them. So it's not only me who said this sentence, but I gave them a lot of freedom to be themselves, to do what they wanted to do with the scene, with the dialogues, with the things they had to do. And that also helped to make them feel at home and to make them do the things they had to do. So, but I must admit that the fear I had before I started shooting disappeared after a few days because I was like, they're amazingly professional and really talented in what they're doing.